my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker today. Our speaker this morning comes from a show business background. George Gilbert is former president of Gilbert Productions Incorporated, where he produced the Nostalgia Tour, bringing free live entertainment to retirement communities. In 2003, he and Dory Gilbert created Originally Speaking, to speak and write about the importance of humor in business, the role humor plays in the workplace, and the benefits of laughter in life. George has spoken across the country, from Miami at the National Association of Tissue Banks, to Axicon and Course from Canada, and even the Pahrump Elks. Please welcome accredited speaker with his presentation, Leadership, George Gilbert.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are here today to learn to become presidents, vice presidents of education, vice presidents of publicity, vice presidents of membership. It's early. Secretary, treasurer, sergeant at arms. Why? Because no one else wanted that job. And how do we show thank you for that? By making you come here at 7:30 a.m. They've asked me today to talk about leadership, but I'm not going to give you the same leadership skills that everybody else talks about. No, I'm going to give you a few skills that hopefully not only will you use them here in your clubs, but in your real life, your professional, personal, social lives. And those three skills are qualities of leadership that I have: humility, humor, and listen. Those three skills, I think, are very important to leadership. So, humility. What the world needs is more geniuses and humility. There are so few of us left. Oscar the winner. Now, when I talk about humility, when I talk about humility, when we get a title in front of our name, or a few letters after our name, sometimes we become so self-important that people don't want to work with us. We become so serious. And so, don't take yourself too seriously. For instance, when Lori introduced me, she introduced me as former president of Gilbert Productions Incorporated. President. Sounds impressive. Not when you find out my mother's chairman of the board. And my sister, vice president. Now you're thinking, big deal, George. That's just nepotism. Well, at Gilbert Productions, our motto was, nepotism is all right. As long as you keep it in the family. We figured what's good enough for the Queen of England is good enough for Gilbert Productions. Now, being a family-owned and operated organization as Gilbert Productions Incorporated, it had its advantages and its disadvantages. The disadvantages: if we go through a tough time economically, who am I going to lay off? My sister? I don't think so. I tried that once. She went straight to the chairman of the board. Georgie's trying to get rid of me again. But the advantage of being a family-owned and operated organization as Gilbert Productions Incorporated, we didn't have to worry about hostile takeovers. No one ever got more hostile than my mother. And if you don't believe me, you should have asked my dad. He tried to take over once. He got hostile. Not only did Mom take away the keys to the executive washroom, but Dad's new title at Gilbert Productions, Director of Domestic Refuse. I got Dad's title. President. Actually, I was the one who came up with the title Director of Domestic Refuse, because at one time, I thought titles were important. Yeah, especially when I was dating. I'd ask a girl out, she'd say, "What do you do?" I said, "I work for Gilbert Productions Incorporated." She said, "Wow, what do you do at Gilbert Productions?" I said, "I take out the garbage." She said, "Call me when you're president." So, I came up with the title, Director of Domestic Refuse. I said, "Mom, can I have that title?" She said, "Georgie, you can have whatever title you want, as long as you still take out the garbage." So I came up with the title. I met a girl. I asked her out. She said, "What do you do?" I said, "I work for Gilbert Productions Incorporated." She said, "What do you do at Gilbert Productions Incorporated?" She said, "Well," I said, "I am Director of Domestic Refuse." She said, "Ooh." Director. I married that girl. Turned out she was only looking for somebody with experience. Because at home, I'm still Director of Domestic Refuse. Actually, she also gave me a new title, Chief Engineer of Canine Waste Removal. She has 4 dogs. Finally, I got behind in that and she divorced me. But the main point is, don't take yourself too seriously when you get a new title in front of your name. Or a few letters after your name. Sherry also introduced me as accredited speaker. I have AS after my name. If I walk around here today and say, how many actually people know what accredited speaker is? One. A few people. Well, if I walk around here, and I'm very proud of it, don't get me wrong, but my mom and dad used to say, you're only as good as your last show. So if I walk around here and say, well, I'm an AS, they're going to say, yes, you are. Jesse's going to say, George, you can put another S after you. So don't take yourself too seriously. Sometimes when we get a little bit of authority or whatever, we get so serious. Now, as I said, when I was growing up, my parents were in show business, and they toured all over the country. And during the summertime, they toured with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Does anybody even remember who Roy Rogers is? Wow. This is an older audience. For those of you who don't know who Roy Rogers is, it's not Cherry Coke. In fact, a little side story here. I used to embarrass my parents because we would go to dinner after the shows with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. The waitress would come and say, what would you like? And I'd say, I'd like a Shirley Temple. And my dad said, no, he'll have a Roy Rogers. I said, I don't want a Roy Rogers, I want a Shirley Temple. And I would embarrass him because we were right there with Roy Rogers. How come you don't want a Roy Rogers? I don't like Roy Rogers. Not the man, the drink. I like the cherry 7-Up instead. But the point being is, so we would drive up to these county fairs and state fairs where they were performing with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And there was always a volunteer at the gate. And we'd have to go through the gate to go to rehearsal and do the show. And this volunteer would always, it didn't matter, whatever county or state fair, there would seem like the same guy. A volunteer, we said, I'm sorry, you have to stop. What can we do for you? So, well, we're here to perform with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Oh, that's great. Do you have a pass? No, we've been on the road. We're just here to get the pass. Well, you need a pass to go through the gate. Well, how do we get a pass? They say, well, you have to go through the gate and through that building. So Dad would start to go. Oh, excuse me, sir, you have to stop here. you can't go through the gate. But you said I have to go through the gate to get the pass. You said, yes, but you have to have a pass before you get to the gate. So when you get a little bit of authority, don't take it too seriously. Remember, think about what you're doing. Have a little humility. Be humble, and you'll be a better leader. So you'll be a better leader. And then the second part is humor. Humor, to me, I'm a humorist, but there's humor. Humor, I grew up in humor. Humor is so vital to being a leader. Dwight D. Eisenhower, former president of the United States, once said, a sense of humor is part of the art of leadership, or getting along with people, of getting things done. So think about that. Humor is so vital. And if you don't think so, Forbes came out with their top 10 leadership qualities, and number 4, humor has made number 4 on the top 10 list. So along with honesty, obviously that makes sense, ability to negotiate, communication, humor, confidence, commitment, positive attitude, creativity, intuition, and the ability to inspire. But think about that. Humor. Humor is number 4. So not only should not take ourselves too seriously, but we should share humor with others. So why? Well, according to CBS Money Watch, here are some of the reasons why we should share humor with others. Humor is disarming. So when you're in a tense situation, humor can disarm that situation. It relieves tension during crises. And it softens the blow of bad news. Now let me give you a story about how this can work. When the Russians put atomic missiles, nuclear missile heads, on Cuba, aimed at the United States, it was a very tense situation. I mean, we were on the brink of going to World War III. And so they finally decided, the United States and the Russians decided that they were going to negotiate this. Well, it got really tense. And the negotiations were about to break down because no one was willing to budge. And then finally, someone said, why don't you tell a joke? And no one did for a minute, and then one of the Russians said, I've got the joke. Pardon my bad Russian. So, what is the difference between capitalism and communism? In capitalism, it's man exploiting man. In communism, it's the other way around. And with that, the negotiations were able to continue, and we did go into World War III. And it may have been that one joke that helped turn that around. So remember, humor can diffuse tough situations. Humor is great for team building. Great comedian that I used to get to watch every once in a while. His name was Victor Gordon. You remember Victor Gordon? Well, Victor Gordon once said that laughter is the closest distance between two people. Think about that. When we're laughing, we're bringing each other closer together. We're in agreement. It gets people to root for you, doesn't it? So laughter helps good team building. When we're laughing together, we're agreeing on something, we're having fun. Well, isn't that part of team building? So laughter is helpful with team building. It places emphasis on key points. And humor is motivating. Well, that's good because I build myself as a motivational humorist, so that's important. But it can. Humor can get you through some real tough times. Right now, I have to say, my ex-wife who divorced me because I got behind in the dog picking up mess. We're still good friends. She is going through a really tough time right now. After almost 22 years, her transplanted kidney finally failed 2 weeks ago. Now, that's tough, but you have to realize that she had 22 years of a great life. And we're still continuing with that attitude. We're laughing. Even in the hospital, we found things to laugh about. Now, early on in the when she had her first transplant, July 2nd, 1994, while she was in the hospital, we used humor to get through those tough times. And I knew that she was going to be okay when I walked into the hospital room one day. And for the first time in over 2 years now, she'd been in and out of the hospital every 4 to 6 weeks with some sort of health-related problem due to that kidney disease. And for the very first time in over 2 years, she was now more concerned about her looks, you know what I'm talking about, than her health. And I walked in, and she was in front of a mirror looking at herself, and I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "I'm ugly." And I said, "What are you talking about? You're beautiful." She said, "No, I'm ugly. I have these staples down my front." I said, "Are you kidding me? You look like a Playboy centerfold." And even they have staples down in front. So laughter can really be motivating you to get you through some very tough times. And we're using humor to get through those tough times. So it's always good to make sure, no matter how bad things get, humor can bring you up. In fact, I did a recent poll. I sent this out to Facebook, and I got 16 people back. To poll all those thousands of people, 16 people. But what I did is I asked people who was former presidents. Now, I didn't name any living presidents or past living presidents. I didn't want to get into politics. I just wanted to concentrate on humor and leadership. And it came back that Ronald Reagan was the #1 president, leader with a sense of humor. Now, whether you agree with his politics or not, he was the #1. And on many occasions, Ronald Reagan used humor to not only get through tough times, but to even ease his opponents when they were coming at him. For instance, when they were in the presidential debates with Walter Mondale, and Reagan knew that Walter Mondale was going to make Reagan's older age an issue. What Ronald Reagan did is he, in his opening statement, he said, "I will not make age on this campaign an issue. I'm not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience." Well, right there, he confused the entire situation. And then Reagan went on to say, Thomas Jefferson once said, "We should never judge a president by his age, only by his works." And ever since he told me that, I haven't worried about it. Even in the crisis when Reagan was shot with an assassin's bullet, going in for surgery, Ronald Reagan was joking with the surgeon, and he said to the surgeon going in, he said, that was going to operate on him, he said, "I hope you're a Republican." And the surgeon said, "Today, the entire country's a Republican, Mr. President." And then when he got out, he said, "Nancy, I forgot to duck." So if Ronald Reagan can use humor as a president, and many of the others have too. Abraham Lincoln was also known for humor. Franklin Roosevelt. In fact, shortly, one time, someone went to visit Franklin D. Roosevelt in the White House, and they were talking to Eleanor and said, "Where's the president?" She said, "Just listen for the laughter, follow that, and you'll find the president." So humor is so vital in that. And then, of course, I did another poll. Still got only 16 people to answer. This was an international poll that went out on Facebook. And world leaders, I asked, who do you think was the most humor and effective with humor? And they came out with Winston Churchill. So right after December 7th, Pearl Harbor, Winston Churchill was at the White House. And Franklin Roosevelt said, "Should we light the Christmas tree? Was that appropriate?" And Winston Churchill said, "Yes, of course, light the Christmas tree. The children in this country need an opportunity for joy and laughter." Because he knew the importance of that. And he also used it to diffuse his critics, too. When Lady Astor said to Winston Churchill, "Mr. Churchill, if you were my husband, I would poison your tea." Mr. Churchill responded, "Lady Astor, if you were my wife, I'd drink it." So humor can be great in any type of leadership, and then of course business leaders. Now, I did the poll again, so, well, 17 people answered this one. We're moving up. And of the three that I put out there, Herb Kelleher of Southwest Airlines was the number one. And if you were at my presentation in May at the district, I talked a lot about Herb Kelleher and what I call the tickle-down theory. Now, the tickle-down theory is where humor starts at the top with the leader, tickles down through the leadership to the employees, right down to the customer. And Herb Kelleher exemplified humor in leadership. When a commercial came out making fun of Southwest Airlines no-frills flights by showing passengers getting on a Southwest Airlines flight with paper bags over their head, with a caption that said, "If you're embarrassed to fly Southwest Airlines, come fly with us." Do you think that bothered Herb Kelleher? No, he went out, made a commercial with himself in the commercial, wearing a brown paper bag over his head. And he said, "I understand many of you are embarrassed to fly Southwest Airlines. If this is the case, we'd be happy to provide you with a free paper bag." And because of that humor, it's trickled down all the way to the employees. And if you fly Southwest Airlines, quite often you will not just hear that same, "The emergency exits are on the side," all that. No, you'll hear them doing a stand-up comedy routine, and when I flew back from Baltimore not too long ago, one of them did that, the attendants did that. They said, "In case of an emergency, the lack of oxygen, a mask will fall. Please put that mask over your face. If you are flying with children, why?" If you're flying with 2 children, please pick the one that you think will be the most successful. And then put the one on the other. So, humor can be used at all levels, but it's so great when it starts with leadership. So the next third and important aspect of leadership to me is listening. Listening to me is so very important. I just wanted to make sure you were paying attention. And at this early in the morning, I wanted to do something to kind of wake you up in the middle of the presentation. Listen once in a while. It's amazing what you can hear in Pennsylvania. You know, we talk about listening in Toastmasters. Our topics, we say that's about listening. But is it really? Is it the type of listening that I'm talking to? We listen in topics thinking about what we're going to say. So we're thinking about what we're going to say, not listening to what they are actually saying so much. Because we want to make sure that we can speak for the 30 to 90 seconds or however long the club does your topics. And then in evaluations, we say that is a listening portion. But more importantly in evaluations, I believe we're talking about observing. Do they make eye contact? How are their gestures? Vocal variety? But are we really listening to the content? Because we're not really supposed to speak about content in evaluation. So I think that's more about observing. So when I'm talking about listening, I'm talking about listening to what the person has to say, not about our response to it. As a leader, we need to listen to what they are saying, not as a response, but what are they really saying to us? I think we take that kind of lightly once in a while. we're so busy worried about what our response is and what they're actually saying. So listen to your members. Listen to your members. See, Toastmasters talks about membership driven. It's all about the members. It's not top down. It's membership up. And if we really want to be a success, it's listening to your members. What are their goals? Why did they join? Why did they join Toastmasters? Listen to find out why they joined Toastmasters. What are their professional goals? What are their personal goals? Kay just told us that she joined 25 years ago to get a date. She got a date. She got a husband. Kay's a lifer. Because she found what she wanted in Toastmasters. And I'll bring to that my club. And I'll bring to that several years ago, 3 guests came to our club. They were from a jewelry store. Now, the reason they came to our club is because one of them wanted to become a manager, assistant manager. She wanted to intermanage. She was beautiful, tall, blonde, could sell a Rolex to a poor guy like me, but she had no confidence in herself, her leadership. So the manager, the assistant manager, and Annie came to Toastmasters because they told Annie she's going to have to get some confidence if she wants to be a manager. She's going to have to get some leadership training to be a manager. So when she came, she was so shy, so insecure, that when we asked for guest comments, her manager had to speak for her. But she was determined. And the club listened to what she wanted to do. The club listened to her goals. And so when she joined, we brought her along slowly. We didn't want to throw her right in the mix because that would scare her and she'd run off. Gave her smaller roles, started helping her with her speeches. She started getting confidence when she gave her icebreaker, more confidence in the next speech. And then she said she wanted to do a humorous speech. And so we worked with her. And it was all hers. We just had to bring Annie out. See, when you're mentoring and when you're helping someone, don't make them a clone of you or what you think the club should have them be. But bring their personality out. Because that's what it's about. And she came up with this idea that she wanted to do a humorous speech on the many different purses or bags that women use for different things. For instance, the big bag where you go to the football game and you hide the beer and everything else. All the way down to the little bag that you take to the club with the nightie and everything else. So she worked on this speech. She gave it. Everybody said, you need to enter that in the humorous speech contest. Well, this was something Annie never thought she could ever do. But she entered. Not only did she go from the club level, she won the area level, the division level, and made it to the district level. Think about that. And at the district level, Annie came in 3rd. Now, you would think, well, first didn't matter. She went beyond her expectations. And I believe, had she not received some feedback from the speakers, she may have even placed first. But she jumped. But Annie got her confidence back. Now, Annie would probably still be a member of Alternate to that, but she moved to Detroit, where where at one time she was in charge of 5 different businesses. And she had so much confidence that she was able to get up in front of the city council on many occasions and speak. This is from somebody who couldn't speak with a guest comment when she first came to Toastmasters. So if you listen to your members, find out why they joined. What are their personal goals, and what are their professional goals and their personal goals, then you will create quality members, creating quality clubs, and club goals versus member goals. Kay talked about distinguished clubs, and that's all good. But if you want to focus on distinguished clubs and not focus on the members, you're not going to have a distinguished club. But if you focus on the members and their goals, the distinguished club takes care of itself. As I mentioned, I'm from Aldrich to that Toastmasters. Very happy to have mentioned that we are also a President's Distinguished. Yeah. It wasn't me, it's the members. We mention it at time to time about distinguished clubs. We mentioned where we are in it, but we don't make it we don't make it an emphasis. We want to make sure that our club members, A, following their goals, B, have a little fun. I'll drink it down. One of our members once said, well, this is not a professional club, this is a social club. And I said, well, wait a minute. If it was just a social club, we go downstairs and have food. And I'm okay with that. Or two. But we are still a professional club working on our communication and leadership skills. So that's what it's that's what it's important though, is to work on the members' goals. And the club goals will take care of themselves. So, if you want to be a distinguished club, remember your members reach their help their members reach their professional and personal goals, and the club goals will take care of themselves. Remember that. Reach out. Go and ask your members what it is they joined this organization for, and help them reach those goals. After all, isn't that what it should be? So, again, the three qualities of leadership: humility, a little humbleness goes a long way. Humor. Share humor. Be humor. Some clubs have a word of the day, a joke of the day. Other clubs have an observational humor at the end. But as a leader, just make sure everyone's having a good time. Make sure you're following your professional goals, but also have fun doing it. And then also listen. Listen to your members. Now, before I go, I just want to say that I recently went to a speaker's bureau. And they said, George, you've got a pretty good speech. But do you have a book? And I said, yeah, I've got a book. I've got several books at home. I've got the complete works of Shakespeare. I wanted to impress them. They said, no, George. Have you written a book? You see, apparently as a speaker, you need to have written a book and published for credibility as a speaker nowadays. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to announce I have a book. It's called Take 2 Laughs and Call Me in the Morning. It's about the importance of humor and laughter in our lives, how to reduce stress, the stories that I told you about going through challenges in the hospital. It's all in here. Now, I have to admit, I didn't come up with the title Take 2 Laughs and Call Me in the Morning. My publishers came up with that title. Now, I like to Take 2 Laughs bit, but please don't call me in the morning. I tell you, this is early morning. I became an after dinner speaker, so I didn't have to get up in the morning. Actually, you can't call me in the morning, because after this book came out, I had to get an unlisted phone number. That's right, I got an obscene phone call from a reader. From a lady. Can you imagine that? An obscene phone call from a lady? I was so shocked. It took me 45 minutes to hang up. Now, this book hasn't been out in a long time, but I've already received hundreds of letters from people who actually read the book. One lady wrote me and said, George, you are so right. It's the little things in life that create stress. She said she bought this oak table. Paid $100 for this oak table. They delivered it. They set it up. When they left, she put something on it, and it wobbled. She said, I paid $1,000 for this table to wobble. It stresses me out. Every time I walk by it, put something on it, and it wobbles. I get stressed out. Every time I think about it, I get stressed out. I want your book. I write it home. Put it right underneath that one letter. No more stress. Thank you, George. Another lady wrote me and said, George, I've been so stressed out I can't sleep at night. I want your book. I read just one page. Put me right to sleep. Thank you, George. The critics say that this is the type of book that once you put it down, you just can't pick up. Now, you will not find this on the bestseller list, although I tried. Bought a whole garage full. In fact, my ex-wife told me, said, George, get those out of there. You take them too. So I brought a few here today, and I'd be happy to autograph them to you, for $5. Now, it's true, you cannot judge a book by its cover. It's not a bad cover, I came up with this cover. Unfortunately, I haven't quite finished writing the book yet. So $3 is a pretty good deal, because when they come out, it's going to be $20. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I do have a book. It's actually called From Stand Up to Stand Out. It's about how to put humor in your presentations. It's a workbook. It's very simple, very easy, and by the way, there are words in this one. Just wanted to let you know. You can read it in 15, 20 minutes, but if you go back and work on your presentations and how to put humor in it, it will help you become more humorous in your presentations. Now, it's out on, I have a few out here. Amazon.com gave it a 4.5 rating from the two people who actually bought it. Actually, unfortunately, I got on there this morning. Somebody else bought it, gave me a 1-star rating, but they probably read it, so. Anyway, it has been a pleasure being your keynote speaker today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope that you go out and get some great leadership training to go back into your clubs, but more importantly, take those leadership skills, those communication skills, back into your professional, personal, and social lives, and you will all be great leaders. Thank you very much.
Was that great or what? Awesome. Those of you new members, look what you can achieve. Just think, George was a new Toastmaster at one point. So keep working on those